You've decided to stop more times than you can count, and you meant it every single time. Yet here you are, still smoking, starting to wonder if there's something wrong with you that other people just don't have. There isn't. But the story you're telling yourself about why you keep going back is almost certainly wrong, and that matters, because the wrong explanation leads you straight to the wrong fix. The story most people believe is simple. I don't have enough willpower. It's tidy, and it's mostly wrong. Willpower is real, but it isn't why the pull is so strong in the first place. Blaming your willpower is like blaming the smoke alarm for the fire. The real reason you can't stop isn't weakness, it's that your brain has learned something, deeply, over years. And learning is far harder to undo than a simple bad habit. So in this video, I'll show you the actual machinery, how your brain built an automatic program that runs without your permission. The anxiety loop that quietly makes weed feel more necessary than it really is. And the real job weed has been doing for you that almost nobody tells you to plan for. Once you see the real reason, the fix stops being try harder and becomes something that actually works. Let me start with what your brain has been quietly learning every single time you smoke. Every time you smoked to relax after a hard day, your brain took note. Every time weed helped you unwind, fall asleep, get through social anxiety, or step back from something difficult, that went straight into your reward system as useful information. Do that for months and years, and your brain builds a map, a strong one. Stress leads to weed. Boredom leads to weed. This time of night, this couch, this person, this feeling, all of it now points to a single conclusion. Weed is the answer here. So when one of those cues shows up, you sit down at 9 in the evening, or you drive home from a rough meeting, your brain runs the program. And here's the key part. It isn't a conscious decision. It's automatic. The same way you don't decide to feel hungry when you smell food. By the time you notice it, the pull is already in motion. That is what the I can't stop feeling actually is. It's the experience of an automated program running against your own intentions. You're not losing a fair fight. You're trying to override something that fires before the conscious part of you even shows up. This is also why willpower feels so useless here. Willpower is conscious and slow. The program is automatic and fast. You'll lose that race almost every time. But there's a second mechanism underneath, and it's the one that fools people the most. A lot of daily users started, at least partly, to deal with anxiety. And in the short term, weed delivers. It calms you down by acting on your endocannabinoid system, the internal network that helps regulate stress. But here's the trap. When you hand that job to weed every day, your brain does less of it itself. Your own anxiety management system gets weaker from lack of use. So without weed, you feel more anxious than you used to, which makes weed feel more necessary, which means you use more, which lowers your own capacity even further. That's a loop, and it tightens over time. The very thing you're using to manage your anxiety is quietly raising your baseline anxiety underneath it. So by the time you try to quit, stopping genuinely does make you more anxious for a while. And almost everyone draws the obvious conclusion. See, I need weed for my anxiety. But that's backwards. That spike is withdrawal, and it's temporary. Most people find their anxiety settles to a lower level after 2 to 3 months clean than it ever was while smoking, because the substance was amplifying it the whole time without them realizing. Read that again if you need to. The thing you reach for to calm down may be the thing keeping you wound up. There's one more piece, and it's the one almost nobody plans for. You can't stop, partly because weed is doing something real for you. It helps you fall asleep. It takes the edge off stress. It's a social ritual with certain people. It's how you mark the end of the day and finally switch off. Those are real needs, legitimate ones. And here's what most people miss completely. Quitting doesn't make any of those needs disappear. It just removes the tool you were using to meet them. So if you stop, and you've done nothing to fill those specific jobs, the pull back to weed doesn't fade, because the need underneath is still sitting there, unanswered. That's not weak willpower, that's an unmet need looking for its old solution. This is why the right question isn't only, how do I stop smoking? It's, What is weed actually doing for me, and what's going to do that job instead? If it's sleep, you need a real wind-down routine. If it's stress, you need another release valve. If it's the evening ritual, you need a new one to take its place. Quitting that ignores the function is just willpower against an open wound. Quitting that replaces the function is sustainable, because there's nothing left pulling you back. Here's how you actually break the whole pattern. So none of this gets fixed by trying harder. It gets fixed by working with the machinery instead of against it. 3 things break the pattern. Remove the cues by changing your environment so the automated program stops firing. Replace the functions weed was serving so the real needs are actually met. And understand that the withdrawal of the first couple of weeks is temporary and predictable, not proof that you need it. That's exactly what our program is built around, in 3 phases. Release, the first week, to get through the acute part. Resilience, the next few weeks, to build the new routines that replace the old function. And clarity, weeks 3 to 7, where your reward system recovers and the pull finally lets go. None of it runs on willpower. It runs on understanding why you couldn't stop, and then removing those reasons one by one. If you want the full phase-by-phase plan, that's the Release, Resilience, and Clarity program at quit-smoking-weed.com. The link is in the description. And if this finally explained why every attempt felt impossible, share it with someone who still thinks they're just not strong enough. They are.